We've got great businesses in each of our three core areas. So the post-trade business has been doing very, very well for a number of years. We expect that to continue. A lot of great growth opportunities in that area, and it's really an incredibly important business. It is a systemic business on a global basis. For example, we clear in 27 different currencies around the world. We've got important regulatory relationships around the world. So that is a very important systemic business, and it's growing very well. The capital market side, also a very attractive business. It is a business that tends to benefit in periods of volatility, where some other businesses might have difficulties in periods of volatility. We actually have a robust business model that some parts of our business may be impacted by volatility on the downside, but that part of the business tends to benefit from it. So it's a very attractive business for us to be in. With the combination with Refinitiv, we have added foreign exchange and fixed income to our strong equities platform. So we are now a multi-asset class player in the capital markets area as well.
David, but just to follow up on Steve's point here, I'm interested in your perspective on this. Andrew Bailey, the Bank of England governor, seems to think that there is a very clear effort now in Brussels and among European financial platform operators to seize business from London. A lot of that is obviously to do with Euro clearing, which apparently the French bankers are now trying to get legislation on to force the move from London. What is your view of what Brussels is doing at this stage and the attempts that are being made to grab London business? Is this malevolent, malignant? How would you describe it?
So I certainly understand the governor's concerns. We are working closely with the Bank of England. We're working closely with ESMA, the European Securities Regulator. This has been an ongoing discussion that we have had for the last several years as we've been working through the Brexit period. The important thing I think to note is that our clearing business and our clearing of interest rate swaps in particular is a global business. And the euro interest rate swaps business is an important part of that. But it's a global business, and it's really important for our customers, for our members, that remain a global business and a global liquidity pool. I don't think that there's any benefit to any customers, any members of the clearinghouse to have fragmentation of that liquidity pool. That would increase the need for capital from the member banks if that liquidity pool is split. That would create inefficiencies. It would increase the risk and just diminish the effectiveness of the overall policy that mandated clearing in the first place. So we'll continue to work with the appropriate stakeholders in the EU. We look forward to having the opportunity to gain permanent recognition under EMIR 2.2. That's the EU regulation. But the last thing I should just point out here, we are fully regulated by ESMA, the European regulator. We're fully regulated by the Bank of England. We're regulated by the CFTC in the US. So we are not, we comply with the regulations to the highest level. There's no race to the bottom here. And again, we look forward to working with the regulators and the other stakeholders in Europe to have this situation resolved.
Yeah, I think that's why some of us are scratching our heads, why it takes so long to come up with an MOU when the rules didn't just change the minute the Brexit deal was signed. But hey-ho, let's just park that because I want to ask you about SPACs. 50% of IPOs now through this method. How does London get a bigger share of SPAC listings? And are these instruments, is this particular method for raising money, do you think, the right one, given that there are, I guess at the moment, some concerns about the structures?
So I think SPACs should be a tool in the broader toolkit for capital markets and for capital raising. I think there are opportunities to adjust the rules in the UK regime to avoid, for example, suspension of trading when a transaction is announced for a SPAC. And with those kinds of adjustments, SPACs could be used, again, as one of the tools in the toolkit here in the UK market. I think there has been some recognition of the froth in the US market. And I think it's important that investors, regulators, market participants use SPACs appropriately. But again, it is a relevant and useful tool in the toolkit.